In this video, I'll show you how to reference a book which has individual authored chapters with an editor in the Cite Them Right Harvard referencing style. These books are a good example of what this might look like. They are module materials, the primary learning materials for a distance learning university in the UK. Each chapter is written by a different author, and an editor has combined the different chapters to make them into a coherent whole. In the scenario for this video, let's imagine I've used one of these chapters, either quotations or ideas, in an essay, and I want to learn how to create a reference for this as per good academic practice. So how might we transfer the data we have in the raw materials in both the bibliography reference and in-text references? Let's take a closer look. We need an understanding of several aspects of referencing to achieve our goal. Firstly, we need to know what academic referencing system we are using, as each one uses slightly different conventions and formats. In this case, I'm using the Harvard referencing system, and more specifically, the Cite Them Right format. We also need to understand that we'll require two formats to reference a chapter from this book in an essay. That is, we'll need the full reference, which details all of the information to include at the very end of the essay, and the shorter in-text reference, which we use to acknowledge someone else's ideas in an essay or after a quotation. So to find the Cite Them Right Harvard format, I'll need for both the full reference and the in-text reference, I need to consult with either the digital database for Cite Them Right, which you might be able to access for free through your academic institution, or a Cite Them Right book. What I'm looking for inside of this is the format for a chapter or section of edited book. And what I find in the Cite Them Right book is both the generic format and an example, which can be really useful to understand what the format looks like in use. So let's work through applying the generic format to the chapter I want to reference and see what this looks like. I'm going to collect some data from the book that I want to reference to help me with this. The chapter author's name or names, sometimes this can be more than one person. This is normally found at the beginning of the chapter or in the contents page. The editor's name, this is often found in the opening pages of the book. The title of the chapter and the title of the book, found at the beginning of the chapter, on the title page or on the front cover. The year of publication, place of publication and publisher, often found in the opening pages of the book. Let's transfer this raw data firstly into a full reference that I'll use in my bibliography. So first I need the author of the chapter. That's the surname followed by initials. So for my chapter, that would be Fear, T, and then a full stop. Next, I need to find the year of publication and put this in brackets. I can see from the pages at the beginning of the book that this book was published in 2019. Then there's the title of the chapter in single quotation marks. The chapter I want to reference is called Cleopatra. Now we need to add the word in, because this chapter is included in a book. Next, it's the editor's name. I can see that this is Richard Jones. He also wrote the introduction and conclusion to this book. We need to use the format surname, initial, so that would be Jones, R dot. Since Richard Jones is the editor, I need to indicate this by adding brackets and including the letters ED and then a full stop. That just stands for editor. Now I need to add the book title using italicized text. That's normally an easy one because the title is normally on the front cover or on the spine of the book. The title of this book is Reputations. The next bit of information I need to add can be a little bit more challenging to find. It's the place of publication and the publisher. I found this in the opening pages of the book, so I need to add Milton Keynes: the Open University. I also need to give the page range of Trevor Fear's chapter within this book. So from the book contents, I can see that this is pages 5 through to 43. And I add this by using PP full stop to indicate a page range, and then add 5-43. At the end of the reference, I'll add a full stop. And that's it. Here's what the finished full reference looks like, which I can now add to my bibliography. But wait, that's not all we need. When I use Trevor Fear's chapter in my essay, I need to acknowledge the ideas or any quotations that I might use from this. So I need to add in-text references. An in-text reference for a book chapter such as this is presented in brackets and includes the author's surname followed by a comma and the year of publication. So that might look like open brackets Fear, comma 2019, close brackets. This creates a link between the information in the essay and the full reference details in the bibliography, which the reader of the essay can use to find the book mentioned. There are a couple of exceptions to this. Firstly, the in-text reference I've just arrived at only acknowledges an idea of Trevor Fear's. So if I want to include a quotation, I need to add the page number where the quotation can be found, which looks like this. This in-text reference should appear at the end of a quotation. Secondly, if I mention Trevor Fear's name in the essay and want to cite an idea or quote, for example, if I say, Fear interprets this as X, or Fear states, followed by a quotation, then I remove the name from the in-text reference, which looks like this. Fear, open brackets, 2019, interprets this as X, or Fear states, open quotation marks, Cleopatra, XYZ, close quotation marks, open brackets, 2019, comma, P.28, close brackets, full stop. That's all for this video. Look out for more referencing tips on my study channel and add any questions in the comments below. And if this video has been helpful, please consider liking, subscribing and sharing this video, as it will help the video to reach a larger audience. See you all in the next one and have fun studying.